From the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Rufus Williams on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Every day you're walking by and I can see how you shine. Here I am alone with nothing but a dream that you are mine. Just exactly what I'll do, I don't know, baby, but I gotta find a way to reach you. Tell me what I gotta do to get to your house. Tell me where I gotta go to be with you. Tell me what I gotta say to speak to your heart. Tell me what I need to know tonight.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Audio Genius.
Get in on the conversation with Rufus Williams and the Morning Show at 591-1690. We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Good morning, and welcome to April. It is the 1st of April. I'm not doing any April Fool's jokes today, folks. Everything I tell you is real and true. Hang with it, stick with it, and love it. It is the Rufus Williams Show. I am Rufus Williams, and as always, thrilled, delighted, and I am truly excited to be back here with you this morning. And thank you so much for waking up with Rufus if you ever made it to bed last night. Some of us had a harder time. But everybody, the gang's all here. Annette, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. The question is, how are you doing? I mean, this time yesterday, you were in Las Vegas. So since then, you've been in the desert, on a plane, landed in Chicago. Now you're right back home.
Let me tell you, Annette. So I get a sleep score every morning. You can get 100 on the sleep score. You get 50 points for duration, 30 points for going to bed on time, and 20 points for your interruptions. Last night, on my sleep score, I got a 32.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know you could get a score that low. So if you should look in here and I should be asleep, there's a reason for that.
It is way too much going on for you to go to sleep today. So, but I understand.
It is a lot. It is a lot happening. And Mother Nature is doing her best to try to make sure I stay awake. What the hell is this weather outside, Annette? What did you do? I heard it was 82 degrees on the.
Hey, somebody opened up the refrigerator. I mean, this time yesterday, it was in the 60s. And it's in the 30s right now.
This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm leaving town. I'm going back. I'm going somewhere. I am out of here. When I come back, and I hope you'll have spring for us, because this ain't it.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I like the desert. You were out there with the geckos, the little lizards and everything. But, I like the change of the seasons. It's just, so I'm going to stay here.
Okay, we'll do that. Titus, how you doing this morning?
I'm not doing good.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
April Fools. I had to get you one. I got you one. I'm doing great this morning. See, no. Everything's all good. I can't complain at all. I will complain about the weather. Like you said, it was 80 degrees the other day. Now it's 35. It's a little cold outside, so grab some type of jacket today. It's so weird.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
This weather makes no sense. But it's Chicago. And we're going to deal with it. We're going to roll with it because in spite of all that, it's a big day on a whole bunch of levels. Okay, before I get to all the reasons why this is a big day, Christy Nome. Christy Nome and her dude. At first, it couldn't be true, except she admitted it.
He did.
And Trump said, she admitted it? Oh, well, I don't know anything about it. Annette, what kind of freaky, what the?
Rufus, I've learned a long time ago, stay out of people's relationships because if you don't, you will be shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked by this. I don't really care, but it is just bizarre. You're talking about the fact that she admitted that her husband is a cross-dresser. I mean, it's their little personal thing. I don't know.
Look, was the Daily Mail, they had pictures. They got pictures of him with ginormous breasts in tight dresses. And it is.
I got to go find this.
You know what, Titus? If I were you, I wouldn't, because you won't be able to unsee it. Really.
You can't unsee it. And oh, Lord have mercy. And this is what they said is really all of the opportunities that exist for blackmail. It's probably good she's no longer in that position because those opportunities do in fact exist. I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it. It is, oh Lord.
Well, Trump's response had to be what it was because let's just assume that she was vetted before she got in this position. They probably knew about this situation. So, and it just got out and he probably let her know, listen, when it gets out, you're on your own.
They could not have vetted her. They could not have known this. Or if they knew it, they just ignored it. Their vetting had to have been so lax to make this ridiculous. I do know my participation was only when Barack Obama was becoming president, and we know people from around here were being suggested. And I got my visit by the FBI because Arnie became the Secretary of Education. And they came in and we sat down and they talked. I don't know who else they chatted with, but they certainly did this thing with me. So how they could not know, somebody in this space, in this cross-dressing space had to know.
Exactly. I mean, to your point, I had a neighbor who actually applied for the FBI. I didn't even know this neighbor that well, but they came and asked neighbors about this person. So I do believe she was vetted. I do believe that they knew, but like I said, I think they said, when this comes out, you're on your own. And yeah.
And here's the thing that everybody should know. It's going to come out. It's going to happen. People are going to know. But this is a whole level of what the hell is this? I never heard of it before. But and if there's anybody who's listening who participates in this, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be offensive. But this is hysterical. This is just, it's beyond the pale. And particularly when you think about who's connected to it. Kristi Noem, and as evil, as mean as she was to all these people, it's kind of hard to find any sympathy for her.
Yeah, but I just look at it as a people thing. I mean, as goofy as this is, it's such a nothing burger to me because, in the privacy of people's homes, you'd be shocked to know what people do. I mean, I just, like I say, I avoid those things because I don't want to know. You can't unsee it. So it doesn't really surprise me. Just, I guess it's the level of government that shocks people, but it doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, that's why some people decide to keep themselves private and not to move on to these public places because of what happens ultimately comes out. And folks have stuff in their closets. And he has some interesting things in his closet.
That's hilarious.
No,
he has some interesting things in her closet.
In her closet. Oh, Lord. It's something. Okay, let's move on. Lee, I'll get your call in a minute because I know it's got to do with this. But I do want to point out today is a big day for a lot of reasons. Dude is going to address the nation tonight about the war that we're not in. So this should be interesting, I guess, to hear.
I'm not going to lie. As soon as you said the word address, my mind was thinking badly.
You were thinking about a blue dress with those things. Yeah, he's going to talk. He's going to address the nation tonight to talk about the war, which, okay, I got to take another one for the team, I guess, and listen to it if I can stay awake. So we can talk about it tomorrow. But it's another one of these places where I will believe nothing that he says. I believe nothing that he says. And we'll have to talk about it anyway. The bigger news is Artemis 2. The bigger news is that they're hoping that the weather holds up, and this evening they're going to send some folks around, not to the moon. They're going to send them around the moon, go see the other side of it. How cool is that?
Well, that is awesome.
You know, it's we have the luxury, as do you, of hearing from the brother who's on the flight, Victor Glover II. I had a chance to talk with him a couple years ago, and it's on VON TV. You can see it, but you know, those of you who are here can hear it this morning, because why not? Nobody else has this interview. It's just us who got a chance to talk to Victor Glover II. That is exciting. I think back to back in the 60s. 60s was a lot going on, but when we first went to the moon and how we were glued to the televisions at that time, this is a whole other thing. And the thought here is really, let's go up there, let's check it out. If there's ever a chance we're going to get to Mars, we've got to first settle in on the moon, because the gravity pull of the Earth will keep us from getting that far out. So if we can get to the moon, there can be another push from there. So with them going back up, going out, it's going to be it's just an amazing thing, and also pushes the whole notion of science and all ahead. And with the diversity that is in the cockpit this evening, it's exciting. It's really cool. So I listened to just a little bit of the interview with Victor Glover II. I'm looking forward to hearing it again. This is just wildly exciting. Annette, Tiger was in court, and he pled not guilty. He said he wants a jury trial, and they found it was a hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone?
That one. Yeah, the painkiller. They found a couple of those pills in his pocket. You know, when we watched Tiger play over all those years, and the way in which your body rotates in playing golf and the strength with which he put into it, it's not surprising that he has surgeries and has pain. What's surprising is that there appear to be no Ubers or Lyfts in Jupiter, Florida, because Tiger needs not to be driving. He needs to have somebody taking him around. And so with that being the case, he has also declared that he's not playing in the Masters. So that's disappointing for all those who were, for a brief moment, hope to see him in person. And it is a thrill. Unfortunately, they won't have it, but the people in court will. So there you have it with Tiger. This is a huge day on so many levels. And you heard just before the show started, retrograde WVON, going back to the beginning and some of the reasons, some of the things that were there. You may hear more of that today, and we'll tell you why when we come back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2025, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-259-4149. That's 800-259-4149. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-259-4149 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
It's Matt McGill.
Kindred family soul. We got Asia on the line with us. What's going on, my sister?
You be talking that talk, baby. I love it.
Black people, we are in a moment.
And I love that they have voices to depend on like yours. Bravo.
Yes, you know it.
Weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Inbound Ryan off to a 24-minute start from 95th Street into downtown, getting to the Ryan along the Bishop Ford. Already 17 minutes from I-8094, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, 17-minute trip as well. Still pretty quiet for now along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. No major delays to report. If you're on the Stevenson end from I-355 to DuSable Drive, we're looking at a 40-minute trip there, 30 traveling out. The Eisenhower already 50 in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, 40 on that outbound trip. And the Kennedy just about 45 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, a 30-minute trip. Taking our first look at weather today, 24 hours ago, it was 60 degrees. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s. The National Weather Service says we're going to make it to a daytime high somewhere around the low to mid 40s. Right now, it's 36 at O'Hare, 36 in Woodlawn, and 36 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lenoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Yeah. In the heart of 63, a melody was born. Leonard and Phil, with a dream to adorn. Chess records, magic, R&B and blues. From the south side, the rhythm infused. Spinning records, setting the tone. A station with soul, a voice of its own. But as the city rose, so did the call. WVON stood strong through it all. WVON, the voice of the street. The voice of the street. From the blues through to the soul. Where hearts meet. When hearts meet. When silence fell. Silence fell. You raised the sound. Raised the sound. From the heart of Chicago. The heart of Chicago. You stood your ground. Yeah. Stood your ground. Yeah. Not just music, but a beacon of light. When the struggle was real, you gave us might. Marches and dreams, justice and peace. WVON brought the voices that wouldn't cease. Dr. King spoke and the airwaves carried the dreams of a people, the burden they buried. From the church to the corner, from the night to the dawn. WVON was the echo, the enduring song. Yeah. WVON, the voice of the time. The voice of the time. From the struggle and the triumph. The struggle and the triumph. The rhythm and the rhyme. The rhythm and the rhyme. You turn the dial. Turn the dial. Into a pathway of hope. A pathway of hope. From the soul of the city. The soul of the city. You gave us the scope. Yeah. Gave us the scope. Chicago's politics. History stage. Harold Washington's victory. A brand new page. You lent your voice to the people's fight. A city transformed from day to night. And then a young senator found his way through the airwaves. He spoke and swayed. Barack Obama, the future clear. WVON made the vision appear. From the voice of the Negro to the nation's call. From soulful tunes to justice for all. You shaped the sound. You shaped the sound. You shaped the day. You shaped the day. WVON. You paved the way. Yeah. Through the years, the mission remained. A legacy of truth that never waned. Now under melody span, Cooper's lead. WVON still plants the seed. A station that's more than just a dial. A home for the people, mile after mile. What started in the blues now speaks to the heart. WVON, soul is a work of art. WVON, the voice of the nation. Voice of the nation. From the roots of the blues, to the celebration. WVON. Forever in bloom. So turn that dial. Let the soul play. WVON. Forever leading the way. From 1963 till the end of time. You're the heartbeat of the city, the rhythm and rhyme.
Okay. That is the fifth time I've heard that song today, and every time I hear it, I like it that much more. What do you think, Titus?
That was an awesome song. I mean, I listened to it about, like you said, maybe like 3-4 times this morning. And every time I'll hear a little bit of something different. It's like listening or watching a good movie, you know. You got to go back in case you missed something. And that was a really, really good song. Randria did a great job.
A fantastic job. What do you think about the song, Annette?
You know, I love it. I like that it covered just about all the history in one song of this historic station. And it was phenomenal. Whoever wrote it was great. Who wrote that?
Well, we'll hear more about it this afternoon on Matt's show.
Can't wait.
So, it's we've been holding it back for a little bit, more than a month.
It's been a little while now.
Yeah, so this seems like to be the perfect time, the perfect day to lay it out, and I will tell you why. It was back in the 1950s and 60s that Al Benson ruled black radio in Chicago, and Purvis Spann marveled at his ability to capture an audience and convince them to do anything he wanted, including buying products. So it wasn't long before Purvis would invest in his own radio show at WOPA in Oak Park. His 15-minute stint on the McKee All-Night Roundup turned into 4 hours, and he was on his way. While playing the blues at WOPA, he caught the ear of Leonard Chess, who along with his brother owned Chess Records. In the early 1960s, the Chess brothers acquired a 1,000-watt radio station with the goal of creating an outlet for Chicago's growing black population. On April 1st, 1963, 63 years ago today, WVON launched as the voice of the Negro, and Purvis became the second jock hired as part of an ensemble of top radio talent known as the Good Guys. WVON quickly became the #1 station in Chicago. Purvis enjoyed the close friendships with many musical artists and producers over time, including James Brown, Willie Mitchell, who produced Al Green, Bobby Blue Bland, Tyrone Davis, Coco Taylor, and countless others. In the mid-1970s, Purvis Spann made history as the first black concert promoter to take an artist, Johnny Taylor, and his hit Disco Lady on a national tour with a $1 million price tag. In the 1970s, when new owners of WVON fired all the jocks, Purvis joined forces with another radio colleague, Wesley South, to form Midway Broadcasting Corporation. They were granted license from the FCC for ownership of the Chicago radio station, and the duo soon acquired the rights to WVON's famed call letters. Ladies and gentlemen, all day today, you will recognize we're celebrating the 63rd anniversary, the 63rd birthday of WVON, and what an honor is it for us to be here and to be able to do that. And that is why you just heard our song. When we get to our 8:30 segment, George Daniels is going to come in. Billy Branch is going to be on the line, and we'll talk more about the history of this incredible station, what was happening back in the 60s, and what's been done since then to continue to keep this alive. We are now the third oldest station in Chicago, with WLS and WGN only being the ones that are ahead of us. So this is a legacy station. It's an incredible day, incredible history for us here at WVON. Now with that, let me take a call or two. Miss Eunice, good morning and welcome to VON.
Good morning, Rufus. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Miss Eunice.
Okay, I'd like to say congratulations to Melody Spann and Pierre. I was there when VON started. In moving further, I want to speak of this gnome situation.
Yes.
I read Nobody's Girl book by Virginia Roberts. I think her name is Juffa Ray, one of the women in the Epstein scandal. It is just freaky deaky, and some of the things that you wouldn't believe that was done to these women by Epstein and Maxwell and others. They're nothing but a bunch of scumbags. And excuse my language. Thank you.
No, Miss Eunice, I never thought I would live to hear the day when you call somebody freaky deaky, but here it is today from Miss Eunice. Miss Eunice, love you. Thank you so much for your call. Lee, let's squeeze you in before we get to this break that I'm late for.
Hey, good morning, Rufus and the team and the Rufus. So, listen, I'm sorry if I don't call in with some levity, but I want to hit on a couple of international, then come back to local. So, Rufus, I want to speak about
Willie, do this for me. Do this for me, because I don't want to be too late getting to my break, and I want to hear what you have to say. So let's go to the break. When we come back, we'll pick up our call from Lee, and then we'll hear from Victor Glover. We'll be back right after this.
Cloudy and colder, temperatures in the 30s. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening.
Happy birthday, WVON.
Chicago's iconic WVON radio station turned 63 today. This history-making station hit the airwaves in April 1963 and was initially known as the voice of the Negro. Its roots grow deeply out of the civil rights movement and was the voice and source of information for local and national affairs, especially during the riots that followed the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Chicagoans I spoke to yesterday are celebrating with the station.
Oh, I love WVON. I've been listening to WVON for a long time. I am 63, and that's the station I've been listening to, WVON.
The station was founded by broadcasting pioneer, the late Purvis Spann, the blues man, along with partners Wesley South and legendary radio personality Herb Kent, the Cool Gent. We'll be sharing more about WVON's history throughout the day. In other news, city leaders are once again talking about how to address those teen takeovers. Just a week ago, chaos erupted in the Loop. Now folks living in Hyde Park are upset after hundreds of teens ran through the streets, leaping from car to car, shattering car windows and leaving huge dents in their automobiles near 52nd and Dorchester Monday night. So far, police say one teen, a 16-year-old, was arrested and charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey police. Officers also issued several citations for curfew violations. And the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments today on birthright citizenship, and President Trump plans to be there. The justices will hear arguments on President Trump's executive order limiting birthright citizenship, in which he signed on the first day of his second term. There is no record of a sitting president ever attending the high court sessions. Birthright citizenship guarantees that nearly everyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen. Tonight, Trump is also set to address the nation with an update on the war in Iran. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 7:35.
First a president, now a presidential center. The OPC opens Juneteenth weekend in Chicago. Where will you be? We're WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connects to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Hello, Chicago. This is City Clerk Anna Valencia, and I'm excited to share that Amnesty Month is back. From April 1st through April 30th, you can purchase your Chicago City sticker without late fees or back charges. There are 3 ways to get your city sticker during Amnesty April. 1, visit any office of the city clerk or Department of Finance location. 2, come see us at one of our 3 Saturday mobile city halls, and you'll get your city key too. 3, visit shycityclerk.com to purchase online. We'll see you soon.
Hey, it's Cleopatra Draper. Join me for the Midday Show weekdays at 9 a.m.
where we'll sip and spill all the tea. Do you want it hot or cold? Either way, we're serving up the flavor of the day. Weekdays at 9 a.m. right here on the station giving you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
I can read your lips through the windows as you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Right now we're looking at an accident blocking the 3 left lanes right before Roosevelt Road northbound. That trip from Marquette to Hayes right now is registering at 40 slow minutes. We do expect that to lighten up quite a bit once that accident has been moved off to the side. Emergency crews are on the way there, but we are looking at a 40-minute trip right now from Marquette as you make your way to Monroe. Taking a look at other areas right now, that inbound trip along the Ryan, a 27-minute trip from 95th Street to downtown, heavy from 51st Street all the way in. The Bishop Ford, 20 in from I-8094, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 17-minute trip to the Ryan. Again, another look at our weather, pretty cloudy today and cold, much cooler than yesterday. Temperatures right now in the 30s. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of somewhere in the low to mid 40s and quite windy throughout the day. Tonight, dropping down to 34. It's 36 at Midway, 36 in Chatham, and 36 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lenoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. It's a party, you all. We're celebrating the 63rd anniversary, the 63rd birthday of WVON. I did intend to bring champagne this morning, but I forgot. It must have been the lack of sleep.
You know, I think Benny's delivers, so I'll grab your credit card and
they're not open yet.
You know, I think we've been waiting on cupcakes and champagne since your birthday last year, man. It's crazy.
We got to make this happen.
That would have been great. But we can do it online.
Well, it's still early. We can do a lot of things. We're going to make this happen. We're going to celebrate today. But first, let me get this call from Lee. Lee, good morning. Sorry about the break, but I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to say what you had to say.
No, look, man, to me, that's just a testament to your professionalism and how you carry yourself, and your team reflects it. Thank you for holding me over. You didn't have to do that. So once again, thank you very much. So Rufus, I want to hit on a couple of things that I followed. And one was a young lady that I read about in Politico. Her name is Francesca Albanese, and she is an Italian legal expert and works for the UN. The thing that's disturbing is she speaks about the atrocities suffered by the Palestinians from Israel. And I cannot believe, Rufus, that the U.S. sanctioned her for doing that. Now, I think that people don't seem to understand, right? The one label that you don't want to get hit with in the U.S. is anti-Semitism, which no one likes that. And no one should be demonized or treated unfairly because of their faith or what they believe in. But let's just call a spade a spade. And what Israel is doing over in Palestine, when you have a woman who hears from a Palestinian father who watched cigarettes be put out on his child, you know, these are just things now that we have to, I believe, pay attention to, because it's the same thing that was going on when they demanded people to help them with what Germany was doing, the experimentations with them. Now, to put sanctions on this woman and cost her all that you've done to her is sad to me. The U.S. is just not that kind of a country. So I found that disturbing when I read about it. And I sent it out to a gentleman friend of mine who, me and him, we go back and forth on some of our political issues. And the next thing Rufus says, do you realize that because of the ignorance that the presidents did with pardoning the individuals from January 6th, do you know that they're suing the government, saying the police caused them stress?
Are you serious?
And they're suing the government because of that. And only in Florida could something that ignorant and that despicable make it into the court of law. But that's happening. And to end this, I'm thinking about now, Rufus, we are African Americans, we're Black, and the things we're seeing in this city now involve us, right? They involve the children. And people waking up, let's put this in context, Rufus. Let's say you paid $30,000, $35,000 for your vehicle, right? You come outside in the morning and your car has dents up and down it, your windows may be smashed. Now you can't go to work, you probably can't take your child to school, and you now have to go spend coin and treasure to get this fixed. And the individual who did it ran on up the street, and you're supposed to accept that this is just youthful indiscretion. No, Rufus, that's not. Now, I remember not being on the district council. What we were brought up for was to help the police stop violating citizens and stop violating their civil rights and killing them in cold blood. Okay, we're working on that. But now we need African-American leaders and Black leaders to step up now and address this and stop, Rufus. I'm telling you, man, stop waving it off as youthful indiscretions, because it's not. It's causing real pain and real hurt and costing real money to real people who are trying their best to look at elected leaders and say, how are you going to address this? If it's failure of the family, then deal with it from that angle. If it's failure of leadership, then deal with it from that angle. But please stop writing this off as something that we can work on, or it's not their fault because they don't have jobs and they don't have ways of moving forward, because we were all once children. I was once 18, 19, and I understand. But pain is pain and cost is cost, and we need to focus on this. So I just want to put those things out, man, and thank you for, like I said, holding me over. But I really found that to be sad, the very first story, because I cannot believe the U.S. would stoop so low to censor someone for saying the truth about what's happening when 75,000 people have been killed. And even if it was 1,200 that got killed in October, you went above and beyond your vengeance. So thanks, man. You guys have a great day. Like I said, I don't mean to put the wet blanket on in the morning, man, but some of these things are a little bit disturbing when you read about them. All right. This is the country that I do love and served in the military. So that's why I speak on it.
Thanks,
have a great one.
No, thank you. Appreciate all that. And I don't disagree with you on any point that you made. Interestingly, it was Jamal Green who did an op-ed in the Tribune, I think earlier this week, that talked about these teen takeovers and how we really need to take back our city. We need to be in control of what all of this is, and actions have consequences, and it needs to be dealt with. Let's do this, Titus. Let's take our break. When we come back, we will play our interview with Victor Glover II.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
April 20th, recognized nationwide as 420, is more than a day. It's a chance to turn over a new leaf. Join Rufus Williams and New Leaf, Illinois for a special takeover of the WVON morning show at 8 a.m. Hear how New Leaf is helping people across Illinois clear cannabis and eligible non-cannabis records through free legal help and information. If you or someone you love has been held back by a past arrest, this conversation could open the door to a fresh start. Learn more at newleafillinois.org. Tune in April 20th at 8 a.m. for the New Leaf, Illinois Takeover, only on WVON.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region and, more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/Meeting the Moment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon right here on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Now we're getting more clarity of what's happening along northbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive. There's a crash right now at Monroe. It's blocking the 3 left lanes. Right now, traffic at a standstill as far as long before you make it to Soldier Field. Right now, your complete travel time from 67th Street to Jackson is just about 42 minutes. We are seeing some emergency crews on the scene attempting to clear the 3 lanes that are blocked right now. So you have to pack your patience. Also, turning to the Stevenson, we're seeing some residual effects because of what's happening there. That merge is backed up as you merge into from the Stevenson to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. So right now, travel times are beginning to rise there. You're now up to a 50-minute trip in from I-355 to DuSable Drive. Turning to the Ryan, just bumped up to 32 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. The inbound side of the Bishop 4 still 20 minutes from I-80-94 to the Ryan. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial now 18 minutes in from I-80. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and colder today. Temperatures lingering right now in the 30s. The National Weather Service says we're going to make it into the low to mid 40s today. It's 36 at O'Hare, 36 in Chatham, and 36 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lanoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible.
Welcome to WV.
The WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Victor Glover, he is the man who is going into space. Such an exciting thing, an exciting time. Victor, talk to us about this journey you're about to take to embark around the moon. Tell me what you're doing and what that feels like.
Well,
thank you, Rufus. It's great to be here to talk to you and to share a little bit about this Artemis program and our journey on the mission Artemis 2. So Artemis 2 will be the first time in about 52, 53 years that we've sent humans to the moon since we stopped doing that specific journey in December of 1972. And so this is now our campaign. Like Apollo was our first moon campaign, this is our campaign to not only send humans back to the moon, eventually onto the surface, to a lunar gateway space station that stays in orbit around the moon, but eventually to get humans on to Mars as we continue to explore our solar system, the planets and moons around our sun, to learn more about our home planet, our Earth, and where we came from, why we're here, and where we're going. Artemis 2 is the first time humans will fly on the Space Launch System rocket with the exploration ground systems to support it, and then flying inside of the Orion spacecraft. And once we've proven that it's safe to fly, that heat shield will keep us and the spaceship safe on our entry, and that the parachutes will work to get us to a nice gentle splashdown in the Pacific, that enables future missions to do even more complex and detailed missions in the future.
So you got to tell me, because I'm listening to this and we're talking about the moon, we're talking about Mars, and you're going. What does that feel like?
It feels like a lot of things. It's encouraging. But it also, look, I understand the seriousness of what I am doing. I read the reports about close calls and mishaps in space and in aviation. And so we take this business very seriously. So it also makes me feel like focusing and working hard to learn the systems. But at the end of the day, every space mission is more about trust and teamwork than it is about technology. And so it also makes me want to get to know the people very well that I'm working with and give them a chance to get to know me. Because at the end of the day, just like we have to trust those systems to go sit on top of a 5.5 million pound rocket, we have to also trust the teams that are making those decisions that we're go for launch. And so there are a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. And also there's a unique aspect to these missions now. Our astronaut corps looks more representative of our country and more representative of the humanity that we represent. And so the first woman to go to the moon is on this crew. The first non-American to get into the vicinity of the moon, to go beyond low Earth orbit, a Canadian astronaut, is going with us. And this is a really amazing time to be a part of the astronaut corps. And so I'm really proud of us, not any one of us individually, for being a first. I'm proud that our agency had the vision years ago to continue selecting and pushing themselves to select an astronaut corps that represents and looks the way that this mission and crew look today. So there are a lot of feelings, and I would say the biggest one, though, is hope and faith. And hopefully we can inspire and inculcate that in others, because it's a very important part of what we're doing.
I love the discussion of the selection of the crew and how that works, because obviously it's a diverse crew. It's the first of many kinds. But to your point, this in many ways is life, death, expense, everything else.
Right.
These are clearly capable people. Did anybody have any issues with the folks who were selected? How did it work, and how did you find out that you were one who was selected? Oh,
Great question. Great question. I'm going to go first to that part. Listen, I don't know how everybody feels about who was selected. I'm sure, like everything, if we ask a bunch of people, we'll get a bunch of opinions, though. But I will tell you this. If people will go and do some research and read about the people who make up this crew, they will have confidence that they will be the right people to make this mission successful. The resumes are there that support this. We've got 3 pilots, 2 test pilots, an engineer. 3 of us have experience in space, and 1 rookie, but that rookie is very talented. That's our Canadian astronaut. And so we've got about almost 2 years of spaceflight experience on the International Space Station in the crew, test experience, high-level programmatics, leadership experience, followership experience, lots of team skills, all the things we look for in selecting a crew. And then also, if folks don't want to do the research, if they just pay attention and watch what we do over the next couple of years, they will also have confidence that, again, we're going to be good stewards of the technology and the time that our nations have invested in us. We are public servants and we're stewards of the public's resources. And we're going to do our best to make our countries proud. But listen, some folks are going to question that this is a simple diversity or publicity stunt. And, you know, I think it's important to listen. I have the capacity to listen to those criticisms too. But and I can listen without having to say, hey, man, I've got 4,000 hours. I've flown 40 plus different airplanes and I piloted a spaceship to the space station. I don't need to say that. I don't need to be defensive. I think it's important to listen to our critics carefully, because in there may be something that we can address. And if it's that people don't have confidence that we're putting the right people in place, we know we just have to go out there and perform and do our level best. And that's what this crew is already committed to. So I know that they're the right people, but it's also about the time, and this is the right time. Our astronaut office is diverse, more diverse than it's ever been. And so, hey, listen, for the folks who listen, I'm just going to say it how I want to say it. To the haters, do your thing, because on the other side of this mission, I think we'll make a few of you into fans, and that's called progress. That's called progress. A reporter attacked an interview I did where I talked about Gil Scott Heron's Whitey on the Moon. And I wrote him and asked him, hey, what is the problem with this? What I said, if you go read what I actually said. And in the end, he became a friend and he supported me and sent me an article that he wrote about how today is very similar to 1968, which is all I was saying about Gil Scott Heron's poem, and how we need to be sensitive and empathize with the folks who aren't out flying in space. They're dealing with the everyday challenges here on Earth. And so I think to the folks who doubt, they will become believers when we are successful. So another reason for us to do our best.
The hater's going to hate and the ball is going to ball. See, I knew there was something good about you. Now you're going to give me Gil Scott Heron, who's one of my favorites.
Hey.
So, yeah, that's
it's a part of the culture. It's a part of the culture, and we represent America, all of it. And I want people to feel that, right? It's not space gives people something to look up to, literally and figuratively. But also at the same time, we need to honor the fact that, hey, there are people that are more concerned about parks and clean water. I mean, we have people today fighting to have clean drinking water, and the cost of healthcare, and we need to know that that's out there and just be sensitive. But at the same time, the work we're doing is going to help bring down the cost of healthcare, to make healthcare more effective, to find new ways to purify drinking water, because those are all technologies we use to stay alive in space. And so that connection is there. But sometimes when my kids come home and they had a hard day, they don't always need a pep talk. Sometimes they just need me to listen. And so I want our NASA folks to be able to just empathize sometimes and listen.
Good stuff. Speaking of your kids, you've got 4 daughters. How do they understand what you're planning to do? How do they understand the significance of this?
You know, they understand it, and they were really excited. I honestly, because I do this all the time, I just assumed they were going to be like, okay, yeah, Dad's going to space again. But they were excited. Their excitement actually got me pumped up. I mean, you would think I had my own YouTube channel and that I'm a social media influencer, because they were so pumped up. And I felt really good about that. I think they get the impact that this is going to have on humanity. And they're just excited. They're excited because this journey that we've been on as a family has been amazing. And they know that I believe in them. This, NASA's going to get us ready to go to the moon as a crew. But us as a crew, we have to get our families ready. And I think my family knows we did that before, and we think it worked out well. They did a great job taking care of each other while I was off the planet. And I'm confident that they will do so again. And so I'm just really excited for them as well. But they're, most important, they're very supportive, very, very supportive.
And Victor, I'm sure,
Gray skies and cooler temperatures in the 30s on this April 1st, 2026. I'm in Illinois, and in the headlines, Chicago's iconic WVON radio station turned 63 today. NASA's Aramis 2 mission is set to make history, sending the first Black astronaut on a moon mission. And astronaut pilot Victor Glover Jr. spoke exclusively on WVON this morning. Meanwhile, city leaders are once again talking about how to address those teen takeovers, the most recent happening in Hyde Park. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app and WVON 1690 AM, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 8:01.
I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Corrupt mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that does it that way. Corrupt as hell.
No question how the president feels about mail-in ballots. Even without proof of widespread fraud, he just signed an executive order to change what he calls the legendary cheating. The Secretary of Homeland Security will create a list of those eligible to vote in each state. The U.S. Postal Service will only send absentee ballots to voters on each state's approved mail-in ballot list. Fill up your car, empty out your pockets. Gas prices now averaging $4, a real pain at the pump.
It's crazy. It's like, you put your gas in your car and, instead of the needle going this way, the needle goes that way. So it's tough.
Lisa Little, who is also Black, says she cannot top off. It's too expensive. So she keeps her eye on how much she is putting in.
So I stopped at 10 because that's all I could do right now because the prices are just crazy.
Up more than $1 compared to a month ago. And the first time it's topped $4 a gallon for regular in years. The reason, of course, the war and the fact the Trump administration has not yet come up with a strategy to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, from which a portion of the world's oil flows. A Black man wants to die now. Jeremy Williams was scheduled to be put to death anyway, just a matter of time on Alabama's death row. He is convicted of the most horrendous of crimes, raping and murdering an innocent 5-year-old girl back in 2021, leaving the lifeless body of Kamari Holland with a rope around her little neck in a basement in Phoenix City, Alabama. Officials say Williams is asking for a selfish reason, knowing there are rules in prison. Anyone doing time for hurting a child is a target.
My opinion is Jeremy don't want to face 20 years of running from inmates. His whole mindset is he would rather end it today than spend the next 25 or so years looking over his shoulder because of what he did.
Looks like he may get his wish. The Russell County DA says he is now moved to the front of the execution list. It's like being inside a horror movie on fire. That's how passengers felt on board that Delta flight from Sao Paulo, Brazil, heading to the U.S. destination, Atlanta. They're screaming because they are in the air and the left engine is a ball of fire. Luckily, the skillful pilots were able to level off and begin an immediate descent. The plane landed, the fire department put out the fire, and reports are no one was hurt. Delta looking into why the engine fell apart soon after the plane took off. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news impacting the Black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
This report is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then, you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. All on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices. Exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
Before Hot Wins. Ooh, let's heat things up. Get fired up with Hot Wins, a new game from the Illinois Lottery. Learn how to play at IllinoisLottery.com. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
A lot going on the roadways, but we're going to start at DuSable Lakeshore Drive. That earlier northbound crash in Monroe, blocking the 3 left lanes, is now off to the side. Traffic now beginning to get through. So your travel times have gone down quite a bit. Now a 25-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson. As you make your way along the Ryan, that inbound trip bumped up to 34 minutes from 95th Street into downtown, causing residual delays along the Bishop Ford. Now a 21-minute trip from I-80-94, but it's Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, much heavier now, 30 in from I-80. As you make your way along the Stevenson, a 55-minute trip in from I-355 to the drive outbound, not too bad, 30 minutes. The Eisenhower 55 as well, from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, the outbound trip 30, and the Kennedy bumped up to 45 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. Still that slow-moving 40-minute trip to the airport. Cloudy and colder today, temperatures lingering in the mid-30s. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out somewhere in the low to mid-40s. Then tonight, back down to 34. Still holding on to 36 at Midway is 36 in Longwood Manor and 36 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lanoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
A good time on WVON.
Then, now, next, celebrating 63 years of Black excellence. We're WVON. Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Rufus Williams on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
WVON has been with me all my life. I appreciate it for being here. We are about the same age. Congratulations and keep. Look, we're going to bypass my song this morning because we have so much going on, and you know it must be a lot for me to do that. Want to remind you, Friday Night of Premieres continues on Vine TV this Friday, April 3rd at 7 p.m. Don't miss King Boulevard, a comedy with a powerful message inspired by the reality of streets named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Follow one young man on a mission to transform his community and bring life to MLK Boulevard with help from his friends, allies, and a little humor along the way. It's King Boulevard this Friday at 7, only on Vine TV. Watch it on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. And this, ladies and gentlemen, it's more than a moment. This is a movement. Spend in the Black is back, turning faith into economic power, and the Chatham Business Association wants you there. This Saturday, April 4th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., head to 75th and King Drive for a full day of family, faith, and Black-owned business. Led by Salem Baptist Church's Pastor Charles Dates and 6th Ward Alderman Will Hall, this is where community meets commerce. And catch Matt McGill broadcasting live from 10 to noon, then again from 2 to 4. There'll be over 100 vendors, food, fashion, beauty, and more. Last year, nearly $1 million poured right back into the community. This year, we do it again. Spend with purpose, spend with power, spend in the Black. And tune in to this show tomorrow. I'll have a conversation with Pastor Charles Dates and with 6th Ward Alderman Will Hall about spending in the Black. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you check it out. Now back to our conversation with the astronaut, Victor Glover II. if my son calls me in for career day, I know you've got to go in and do some career days. I want you to talk a bit about, there's clearly improper, appropriate excitement about you being on this journey. Love to know your thoughts about STEAM education and what the significance is of our children learning these things as early as elementary school.
Okay, so I used to teach or mentor, tutor for an outreach program when I was in college. I would go to a middle school and teach these middle school students what I was learning in college, and they got it and they took it. The advanced math, the investment casting, manufacturing techniques, and it was amazing to see them turn those into projects and team projects. So I've always believed we need to push harder, and it's not, the students are not the limitation. It might be the delivery or the methods, but the messenger, but the students are not the limitations. Our kids are capable of so much more from a science, technology and math standpoint, and socially and emotionally. They're so much more capable than we give them credit for. And the power of a technical or engineering or science education is this. It isn't about making widgets. Making widgets supports human life and our convenience and our safety, our health. But here's the real benefit. A science and technology education gives you two critical skills. This is how I break it down. I studied engineering to learn to be a critical thinker. Analysis is the ability to break down a complex thing into its basic pieces. And then synthesis. You can create solutions to real world problems by taking the simple pieces and putting them together in ways that answer the need. It's about analysis, breaking it down, and synthesis, building solutions up. And that's the power of a STEAM education, including the A. The A in there gets overshadowed sometimes, art. The creativity and ingenuity of finding new ways, again, like to purify water, to store power. We turn the sun's rays into electrical power that turns on the lights or charges up our batteries, vital to spaceflight. Well, nowadays, it's not strange to see a car that's powered by that same kind of technology. Literally, solar power turned into battery power. And so it's amazing what we can do when we push ourselves. And at the end of the day, look, the economic prosperity, that's one piece. Here's another thing a STEAM education supports: being a responsible citizen, being a responsible American. You have to be able to think critically and find truth. Being an engineer has helped me understand first principles and primary sources. And when you can get to the truth of the matter, it makes you a healthier and more effective member of our republic. And that's what the world needs: more truth. Science is about truth.
You gave me more than an answer than I ever expected, and I love every bit of it. You are unique in where you are, your experience, your perspective. And on this same note, talk about your sense of Katherine Johnson and the Hidden Figures, given what you're doing and the connection there. Talk about that from where you are.
Yes. I love the fact that one of my astronaut colleagues, Leland Melvin, was able to actually be there when Katherine Johnson received her Congressional Gold Medal, or Presidential Medal of Freedom, I believe it was, from President Obama. It's special. And I think the overriding idea is the homage and respect that I pay to our history and our legacy. And, people like to refer to me as a historic figure, and I think it's important to focus that on them, our past, what set us up to be here, and then also to focus on, hey, I was the first Black astronaut to live on the space station, but we've already had number 2, and number 3 and number 4 are right about to go soon. So when people want to shine the light on me, I break out the mirrors and start trying to reflect it on our history, but also the future. Look, going to the moon as a Black astronaut is great, but I look forward to the day when it's just normal. And it's most important that there is another. And so if this is opening the door to a new normal, that's what it's about. And Katherine Johnson and Mary Jackson, our NASA headquarters building is named after Mary Jackson. It's important to recognize those hidden figures and make sure that they're no longer hidden. And that's a part of, it's a part of my job description to go out and do outreach, to tell people about the good news, what NASA's doing. I chose when I first got here to also do that inside NASA. I have made sure that my colleagues understand where I'm from. I want to know where they're from. I want to know about the farmland and the big city, but I also tell them about the inner city where I come from, and it makes them more effective at reaching their communities. And so I've tried to also expand that narrative to include those hidden figures. Need to not stay hidden. We all need to be able to tell that story, their story, no matter what you look like. And so I think it's also making us more effective at the outreach part of our jobs, to know that history, because it's all of our history. Every astronaut, they love to show the scene where John Glenn says, if the girl says the calculations are good, then I think the calculations are good. That's a really pivotal moment in the movie. And I think it's in an important moment. That's all of our story. Every engineer, every astronaut, every flight director, that's a part of their story, no matter what color or gender you are.
Leave the information that's given to you by. We're going to hold this interview here, but I'd love for you to hear the rest of it. Go to VON TV, VON.TV. Check it out on Amazon Fire, on Roku, at WVON.com. And for those of us in the Divine Nine, Victor is a member. The Sigmas will be proud. So make sure you check it all out while we're there. We'll be back right after this. It's time for the Woodstock Report. I've got guests in the studio. We'll be back and talk with them.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Friday night of premieres continues on VON TV with a story that's as real as it is hilarious. This Friday, April 3rd at 7 p.m., don't miss King Boulevard, inspired by a truth many know but few talk about. Streets named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that don't always reflect the dream they were meant to honor.
You live on MLK Boulevard?
Yes. Something wrong?
Legally, I can't ask you if you've been convicted of a crime, so I'm just going to stare at you with a look of concern.
Wait, what?
Follow one young man living on MLK Boulevard who decides to change that, setting out to transform his community into something worthy of Dr. King's legacy. See King Boulevard this Friday at 7 p.m. and stay tuned for more dynamic storytelling as the Friday night of premieres continues exclusively on VON TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. VON TV, for the culture, by the culture. On Saturday, watch Martin Luther King Jr., Enemies of the Dream on VON TV. See how recently declassified FBI documents and historical records suggest a deeper story that ultimately silenced one of the 20th century's most powerful voices.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The best way to describe the roadways, heavy and slow. The inbound Ryan, 33 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Getting to the Orion along the Bishop Ford will take you 21 minutes. You'll hit the brakes right around the Stony Island feeder, then crawl all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, extremely heavy at 35 minutes in. As you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, recovering northbound from an earlier accident in Monroe, 20 minutes from 67th Street to Jackson. As you make your way from Hollywood to Monroe, we're looking at an 18-minute trip there. The inbound side of the Stevenson, 40 in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound bumped up to a 30-minute trip. The Eisenhower, 55 from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound still 40. As you make your way along the Kennedy, we are looking at 45 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, slightly better, a 36-minute trip. Turning to our weather, cloudy and cold today. Temperature still lingering in the mid-30s. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out somewhere in the low to mid-40s. It's 36 at O'Hare, 36 in Dalton, and 36 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lenoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We are excited always to have this conversation every couple of weeks. This one even more exciting. I have two wonderful guests in the studio. It's Nikki Bravo, who's the co-founder of Momentum Coffee, and Jerry
Aglipai.
I was going to mess it up. Aglipai, senior fellow at the Small Business Majority.
Yes.
Okay, that's new, different, interesting. Nikki, rather than I, introduce yourself to the folks.
All right. So I am Nikki Bravo, co-owner and co-founder of Momentum Coffee. And Momentum Coffee is rooted in community, powered by coffee. And I also serve as the a member of the Small Business Majorities National Business Council.
Fantastic. What do people, I'm going to do this first. What do people find Momentum Coffee?
Momentum Coffee, we have 4 locations where we're serving great coffee, tea, pastries, and sandwiches. We're in the South Loop at 2119 South State Street. We're also in Millennium Park at 11 North Michigan. We're also in the Garfield Park Conservatory, 300 North Central Park. Okay. And we're in the Austin community inside the Build Youth and Community Center at 5100 West Harrison.
Fantastic. And if anybody's listening and has any influence, we'd love for them to be at O'Hare Airport. Jerry, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jerry Aglipai. I'm a senior fellow for policy and research on small business and workforce at the Small Business Majority. Nikki is our council member, one of our council members nationally. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization that just celebrated its 20th year, advocating for small business policies, leveling the field, and actually advancing equity and making sure that our policies structurally create a level playing field.
Well, Jerry, I've decided you're extraordinarily influential. You have a teenager up and with you in the studio this early in the morning.
I do have a teenager with me. I woke her up and made sure she was up at 5:30 in the morning and said, "Oh, you can go back to sleep. Traffic's not that bad."
Okay, you only get to tell that one time. But good you're here. Good you both are here. Good she's here too. You've traveled down to Springfield last week to call on lawmakers to pass HB 744 and HA number 1, the Small Business Financing Transparency Act. Talk to us more about what's in that bill.
That legislation actually asks for lenders in Illinois, non-bank lenders that operate online, to disclose the APR, annual percentage rate. We receive the APR for our credit cards. You get it when you're looking for cars, student loans, mortgages, but small business owners, actually the APR is not required to be disclosed to small business owners. So they can't compare apples to apples when they're shopping. And what happens is we've got online predatory lenders. They're not all bad, but a lot that are actually preying upon minorities, people of color, women, and those in rural areas, targeting them because they don't have to disclose the APR, and they're unable to then make payments a lot of times. And because of that non-disclosure, we want to pass this law in Illinois. It's not asking to do away with other ways they're calculating how they make payments. It's not asking them to cap interest rates. It's simply to disclose APR in their terms before people sign. What happens is that we're finding a lot of small business owners, and Nikki and I have met them, who've paid well over 80% to 400%. And during COVID, it even was as high as 4,000%. Because people were so desperate for money. And historically, because owners of color and women don't have that access to funding and capital, they're so desperate they turn online because it's easy. And we've seen how the banks historically have treated people of color and owners of colors of having more stringent terms. So they trust, especially online, they think it's safer.
It sounds like you said that they were charging 4,000%. There
During
must be a
COVID.
mistake in zeros.
No,
There's
there is not a mistake in those zeros. Yeah.
And you said all of them are not bad. I'm going to leave that one right there. But
Okay.
the whole definition of predatory says something ain't right here.
Well, I was the regional administrator at the SBA in the Biden administration, and I saw it myself throughout all of the states here in the Midwest, how some of the owners that I met were caught into these predatory loans, that they were paying much more than they would, or they had automatic deductions from their point of sales or even their checking accounts. And that's what they signed up for. So even the SBA currently says these are extortionists.
Well, anybody would say those are extortionists because it, in fact, is. I mean, that's greater than loan sharking. But Nikki, you're a small business owner, a growing small business owner, and excited about it. Talk about how this issue of non-transparent lending matches up with your experience navigating financing options.
Absolutely. So, as you said, small business, we're growing, and we want to stay in business, right? So, as a small business owner, we found ourselves looking for loans in order to be able to grow. And as Jerry mentioned, sometimes those options are not great, right? So we look to non-traditional lenders. In our case, we did take a merchant cash advance, an MCA, and it really touted that it was going to be, quick and low cost. But what happens in those cases, or in our case, and particularly, is that it's charges a fee. And then there's additional costs that are there. Not that they're not telling you what it is. It's very difficult to compare it to, say, a bank loan. So you're not looking at apples and apples. So when you get out of the position where you actually step back and look at what you're paying, it's not so affordable. It's not so low cost. And that's the way that it is shown to you. I really want to highlight for small businesses, because I think, well, I'm a smart person. I'm a smart business person. How do you get yourself into something where you're paying way over what you would normally do? You have to think about a small business. Most small business owners are in the position, they want to bring their dream to fruition. You're in a vulnerable state and an excited state. And so when someone's providing you with an option, you're looking for that best option for you. And sometimes you're not looking at the bottom line. Sometimes it's couched in a way that's intentionally deceptive so that you're not able to know exactly what you're paying. Other times business owners find themselves where they want to make payroll. They want to pay their rent. And so again, when a lender is calling you, and Rufus, I'll tell you, I get at least 20 a day phone calls. We want to fund your business. We can fund your business. We've got low cost. I can get it to you tomorrow. But because I'm on the other side and I understand, I just hang up the phone. But I can imagine that there are other small businesses that are saying, I need an option. The bank is not an option for me at this point because of where I am in my business. And they might listen. And those folks are very savvy in the way that they are presenting that funding option and lending product.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I don't need it for my business, but I'm getting the same calls. And I can only imagine that those who do need it really react. And to your point about payroll, there's nothing more important than making payroll.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody should tell that to the government, but there's nothing more important than making payroll. And so you do what you have to make sure that your people get paid. And sometimes it's more expensive to do it.
Yeah. And Rufus, when Nikki mentions they call it fees.
Yeah.
What happens is oftentimes what happens with responsible loans, with these loans, the fees are fees on you prepaying down your principal. So even if you want to prepay your principal, you keep drowning because they slap you with more fees. So unfortunately, that's what Nikki says. They call it fees,
Yeah.
but in any other loan or credit line of credit that you may have your credit cards, they would never penalize you for prepaying your principal.
And that's why it's important that these things get all disclosed up front, so you know what it is and know what decisions to make around it. Nikki, you've talked about supporting communities being a core value of Momentum Coffee. Talk about how this issue affects communities at large outside of just small businesses.
Well, small businesses are economic drivers, right? They hire people from and in the community, just like Momentum Coffee. When we are losing money that we can't afford to lose, or paying percentages higher than what's anticipated, there's an impact.
Yeah.
What is that impact? The first thing that's going to happen is you're looking at your labor, which is one of your highest costs. So the very people that you wanted to hire, the very people that you wanted to help, hours get cut, or you have to cut those positions. Sometimes what happens for business owners that have opened up, you see the grand opening and then you see that quiet closing. Why? Because they're suffering in silence for these loans that they didn't realize they were getting into. And then that space that was an investment, a physical investment in the community, now is vacant once again. We know what that looks like in our communities. So that investment in our people, and also the investment in what we're bringing to the community. I believe every community deserves quality coffee, tea, and pastries, right? We're not there to be able to provide that service as well. It's one of the things that people don't always see about a small business, that what they need for their funding behind the scenes. Ultimately, what it does as well, and we talked about this, is the wealth building aspect of those small businesses and their ability to continue to grow and serve their communities. That is taken away when there is unpredictability and when there are rates that are not clear and transparent. There's a negative impact for our businesses.
Very important. When we think about small businesses, and to your point, I heard a wonderful interview of J.B. Pritzker, our governor. And when they mentioned his business, he's a billionaire, they mentioned his father, and he said, we didn't begin as this big hotel chain, we began as small motels. All big businesses begin as small businesses. And so the ability to move forward becomes so critically important in that. Now, I don't think it came through clearer than hearing the governor, the current billionaire governor, talk about it in the way in which he did. Jerry, this bill has now passed the Senate in 2024, but it's faced an uphill battle in getting through the House for several years. What makes this year different, and what can we do to help?
What makes this year different is the economic environment and climate that we're in, especially in the last year and a half. We have rising gas prices. We have unaffordability of small business owners because of the tariffs. We have businesses eating the costs from healthcare because they can't afford to pay their employees. And so they have rising healthcare costs, but their wages aren't able to keep up, when they would rather support their small businesses with what Nikki said, benefits, because they see their employees like family. We also have the SBA cutting back the number of individuals. They won't say it, but it's cutting back, but it's essentially whittling down the number of individuals who can apply for loans because of new restrictions on owners due to their country of origin, but also putting restrictions on who their managing staff is and where their country of origin is. So you're whittling out more individuals who are eligible for funding from the SBA that is there to establish leveling the field. That's what the funding from the SBA is for, to support people who otherwise can't get funding elsewhere.
And what can we do to help?
What you can do to help is we would like small business owners to be aware of this bill, APR for All. Join the APR for All Coalition at aprforall.com. Contact Small Business Majority to share your stories with us. We need to hear from you that you would have taken a different loan had you known to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. We'd like you to call your representative in the House Assembly to tell them that you want APR for all as well. Things are unaffordable at this time. And having this bill would create a measure of equity for small business owners and help them find more affordable funding to build that wealth and generational wealth, especially in the state of Illinois.
Critically important. Jerry Aguilepe?
Aguilepe,
close.
That's all right.
Jerry Aguilepe, senior fellow at the Small Business Majority, and Nikki Bravo. You got a great name. Nikki Bravo.
Yes.
Momentum Coffee. Check them out. Make sure you get them when they get into O'Hare. And so glad you all are here. This is important information. Happy to have you come in and happy to talk about it.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have you. Let's find out from Annette what's going on in the news. When we come back, it's a party, y'all. George Daniels is in the house. Billy Branch is on the phone. We're talking about the 63rd anniversary, our birthday of WVON. We'll be back right after this.
Windy and cooler with highs today in the 40s. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Today, Chicago's iconic WVON radio station turned 63. This history-making station hit the airwaves in April 1963 and was initially known as the Voice of the Negro. Its roots grew deeply out of the civil rights movement and was the voice and source of information for local and national affairs, especially during the riots that followed the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Chicagoans I spoke to yesterday are celebrating with WVON today.
Out of Chicago. WVON has been with me all my life. I appreciate it for being here. We are about the same age. Congratulations and keep on going.
WVON was founded by broadcasting pioneer, the late Purvis Spann, the bluesman, along with partners Wesley South and legendary radio personality Herb Kent, the Cool Gent. We will be sharing and talking more about WVON's history throughout the day. Now, later today, NASA's Artemis II mission is set to make history by sending the first Black astronaut on a moon mission. Astronaut Victor Glover Jr. spoke exclusively with WVON's Rufus Williams and explains the purpose of the mission.
Artemis 2 will be the first time in about 52, 53 years that we've sent humans to the moon since we stopped doing that specific journey in December of 1972. And so this is now our campaign, like Apollo was our first moon campaign. This is our campaign to not only send humans back to the moon, eventually onto the surface, to a lunar gateway space station that stays in orbit around the moon, but eventually to get humans on to Mars.
The former Navy captain will launch today from Kennedy Space Center in Florida with 3 others on board. Well, city leaders are once again talking about how to address those teen takeovers. Just a week ago, chaos erupted in the Loop. Now, folks living in Hyde Park are upset after hundreds of teens ran through their streets, leaping from car to car, shattering car windows, and leaving huge dents near 52nd and Dorchester Monday night. So far, police say one teen, a 16-year-old, was arrested and charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey police. Officers also issued several citations for curfew violations. And the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments today on birthright citizenship, and President Trump plans to be there. The justices will hear arguments on Trump's executive order limiting birthright citizenship, in which he signed on the first day of his second term. There is no record of a sitting president ever attending a high court session. Birthright citizenship guarantees that nearly everyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen. Tonight, Trump is also set to address the nation with an update on the war in Iran. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVO News Time, 8:40.
Illinois politicians did it again. They secretly tucked bad policy into the budget. Now, guess who pays the price? Servers, drivers, stylists, workers who depend on tips. Unless Springfield fixes this mistake, your credit and debit cards may not work to pay sales tax or tips starting July 1st. Tell Springfield, stop the credit card chaos law. Learn more at guardyourcard.com/Illinois. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
It's Matt McGill.
Kindred Family Soul. We got Asia on the line with us. What's going on, my sister?
You be talking that talk, baby. I love it.
Black people, we are in a moment.
And I love that they have voices to depend on like yours. Bravo.
Yes, you know it.
Weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Travel times are still quite high along the inbound Ryan. You're still looking at just about 30 minutes from 95th Street to downtown. Getting there along the Bishop Ford, a 21-minute trip in from I-80-94, slow right along the Stony Island feeder. As you make your way along Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, still just about 30 minutes in from I-80. DuSable Lakeshore Drive from 67th Street to Jackson, just about an 18-minute trip. Hollywood to Monroe, almost 20. If you're on the Stevenson, you're looking at 40 in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 35 on the return trip. The Eisenhower, just shy of an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Give yourself 45 minutes traveling out. Still 45 on the Kennedy, and from O'Hare to downtown, just about 36 minutes to the airport. Cloudy, much colder than yesterday. The National Weather Service says we're going to reach a daytime high in the low to mid 40s. Tonight, dipping back down to around 34. Still holding on to 36 at O'Hare. Is 36 in Rosemore and 36 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago. More of the Morning Show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
In the heart of 63, a melody was born. Leonard and Phil, with a dream to adorn. Chess records, magic, R&B and blues. From the south side, the rhythm infused. Spinning records, setting the tone. A station with soul, a voice of its own. But as the city rose, so did the call. WVON stood strong through it all. WVON, the voice of the street. The voice of the street. From the blues to the soul, where hearts meet. When hearts meet. When silence fell, you raised the sound. From the heart of Chicago. You stood your ground, yeah. Not just music, but a beacon of light. When the struggle was real, you gave us might. Marches and dreams, justice and peace. WVON brought the voices that wouldn't cease.
Welcome back. I am excited about today for all kinds of reasons, and certainly excited for right now as we celebrate the 63rd birthday of WVON. In the studio with me is none other than the legend, the music influencer, the entrepreneur, Mr. George Daniels. On the phone is none other than the legendary blues man, Billy Branch. welcome to both of you on the celebration of this day.
Oh, man, I'm just honored to be here. Thanks for having me, Rufus.
George, I'm watching.
Thank you, Rufus.
Yeah, Billy, good. Thank you both. George, I'm watching your face as you listen to our new song. Tell me
I gotta have that song. I mean, it literally tells the story of WVON.
And you only heard half of it. We played all of it at the beginning of the show.
Who's doing that?
I'm not telling. Matt's gonna tell you later. I'm just
okay.
rolling it out. So
Well,
making sure everybody checks in with Matt.
That's what Frankie Crocker used to say out of New York. He would play a record but wouldn't say what it is, so the competition wouldn't get it.
There you go. Can't tell you. This is what I want to do, and I'm so glad you gentlemen were both available to do this today. George, George's music room, everybody came through there. Everybody knows your history in this space. Talk about WVON and its origins and what that meant to you and kind of what it's meant over this time.
Well, for me, WVON, really, I got close to it because when I started, one of my first jobs in the business was at Chess Records. But see, in 1963 is when Leonard Field Chess bought WVON.
Right.
And it was WCES back then. That's the station, because only black music was always played only on AM. And in those days, it was called WCES on 34th and Kedzie with the big long antenna and what have you. And so that's the only place we had to hear what was going on in Chicago. And man, there are so many disc jockeys on the station, but it was 24 hours a day. And I used to open my store, my first store. It was down the street from Mercy Seat, the big church. That's where Purvis Spann used to do the gospel shows. See, there was a time where there wasn't no iHearts and all those other Live Nation. It was the most popular disc jockeys in the city that usually were the concert promoters, because we had the Regal Theater, the Tivoli Theater. Regal the original was on 47th King Drive.
Yeah.
And Tivoli Theater was right next to the Grand Ballroom on 63rd Street in Cottage Grove, which is catty corner from where the old Persian Hotel used to be, which had a live jazz room in there. And so WVON, in the morning you wake up to go to school and you heard gospel. And so you heard all of our music on this one station.
This was the place.
Oh, man, look. And then the personalities of the individuals. I mean, Herb Kent, E. Rodney Jones, Isabel Joseph Johnson, Joe Cobb, Butterball, Ed Cook, the Nassau Dad is, they called him. And see, so I had a relationship with all of them. I mean, Bill Doc Lee, Daddy O'Daly.
The good guy.
Yeah, Daddy O'Daly had a club on 63rd and Cottage, man, which was across the street. The tall building there, 63rd and Cottage, is boarded up now, but that's where all the black doctors were. And my brother, Dr. Max Newsom, who was my guardian when I came to Chicago, when he graduated, his first office was in that building. I used to love to take the bus by and see Dr. Max Newsom on the window. He eventually moved to 79th and Carpenter, right across from Cookies. Wow. They named the street after him. Wow. And see, so, but WVON, I mean, E. Rodney Jones did so much for me, and Herb Kent. But E. Rodney exposed me to more things in the business, and actually Malaco Records, the blues label, ZZ Hill and so forth and what have you. He set it up for me, literally become their first distributor.
Look, I knew this was going to happen. Never enough time. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from Billy Branch, his impressions of WVON, because we began with the blues.
That's
and
right.
This is where he is. We'll be back right after this.
All right.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This Saturday, April 4th, Faith Meets Finance on the South Side. Spend in the Black is back, an all-day family-powered economic activation led by the Chatham Business Association, Salem Baptist Church's Pastor Charles Dates, and 6th Ward Alderman Will Hall. Beginning at 10 a.m. on 75th and King Drive, more than 100 Black-owned businesses will line the streets, serving up everything from soul food to style, from handmade goods to health and beauty. And WVON's own Max McGill would broadcast live from 10 a.m. until noon, and again from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Last year, hundreds showed up and nearly $1 million circulated through just 3 blocks. This year, we go bigger and bolder. This is what economic empowerment looks like in real time. So don't just talk about community, invest in it. Build it. Spend in the black. That's Saturday, April 4th at 10 a.m. on 75th and King Drive. It's more than a moment. It's a movement. Go to www.cbaworks.org and search for Chatham Bucks to buy black every day.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church, tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
For the first time in a couple of hours, the inbound Ryan under 30 minutes, now a 28-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. Getting to the Rhine along the Bishop Ford, still just about 21 minutes in from I-80. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 31-minute trip in from I-80. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and cooler today. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out somewhere in the low to mid 40s. Right now it's still 63. It's still 36. It's still 36 at O'Hare, 36 in Riverdale, and 36 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Let me tell you about the blues and where it comes from. It's the mother of all music. If you don't love the blues, you probably don't love your mama. Now hip hop and rap is the hardest thing. The world can't get enough. Now we all know Beyonce is the queen. She knows how to strut her stuff. You could talk about J-Lo and Taylor Swift. They really are on a roll. But what I'm about to tell you, if you're getting my drift, if you don't love the blues, you got a hole in your soul. Now I ain't no.
Welcome back. That is music from none other than our guest, Billy Branch. Billy, man, how perfect is that for an occasion like this?
Yo, thank you, Brother Rufus. And also I want to say hey to my good buddy, Brother George Daniels.
What's happening, Billy? Man, I wish I still had my store because I should be blasting that on the speaker outside. That's a jam.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's real music.
The Billy, thinking about that, yeah, her purpose span was if you don't dig the blues, you got a hole in your soul. There's all the good guys had some sign off, but he's the blues man, and you're a blues man. Talk about that influence and how that impacted how we began here at WVON.
Well, WVON, especially due to Purvis Span, for many years was known as the blues station. And of course, he was the blues man. He'd come on very late at night. And as I say in my song, Hole in Your Soul, that would be one of his famous slogans. And I also remember you know, he'd have people call in late at night and he'd say, "Good morning, good blues." He'd say, "What's your name?" "Your name is Robert." "I'm sorry, I don't talk to no men's. Goodbye."
That's right.
And he'd hang up. He wouldn't talk to no men, you know. But Purvis Spann and WVON were essential to keeping the blues presence on the airwaves. And it was so important because, you know, Chicago became the blues capital of the world by, as George mentioned, you know, Chess Records, by the artists, many of them coming up from Mississippi, including Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Little Walter, and so many others. And through Chess Records and WVON helped cement Chicago's legacy as the blues capital of the world. And when I came on the scene, there were so many blues clubs still on the South Side, like Teresa's Lounge, the Checkerboard, the Queen Bee, Pepper's Lounge. You know, they're probably on any given night you get hit, a couple of dozen blues clubs 7 nights a week, you know. And so WVON was very essential in that regard to help promote Chicago's great legacy of the blues.
I'm curious, and George, you mentioned, you know, this was a place where we went once it came on. What were we listening to? What stations were we listening to? Where did we hear black music before WVON?
Only WVON. You know, WJPC came in later.
Right.
But in every market, and see, all black music was always to the right of the dial, and black music was only on AM radio. And so in WVON, look, it was our voice. You know, we heard the messages. I mean, one of the first interviews of Dr. King in Chicago, when Don Cornelius was on WVON, he interviewed Dr. Martin Luther King.
Wow.
And see, so it meant so much to us. And the personalities, these were not just personalities that were so big they couldn't relate. Man, you see them on the street, they'd be at those clubs that Billy talked about.
Yeah.
Bonanza, the High Chaparral, the Checkmate. I mean, it's amazing. And then Gladys's Restaurant, the original one on 46 in the end.
Billy, talk to us about why the blues. Why was the blues such a big thing here? Give us some history.
You know, the blues is the roots of all of America's music, and again, I make that reference in the song because all from gospel, pop, rap, hip hop, even country. I make a reference saying T-Tot Williams, who was a blues player, actually taught Hank Williams, considered one of the fathers of country music. He taught him how to play guitar. And a lot of times that's lost on us, the creators of this music, because as you and I have discussed, Rufus, and George knows this, unfortunately, the least likely people you are to see in the audience in blues concerts are us, African Americans.
Exactly.
But yet this is the music that gave birth to the British rock invasion. You know, the Rolling Stones took the name of their group from the song Rolling Stone by Muddy Waters. And there'd be no Beatles, no Stones, no Jimi Hendrix. There'd be nothing without the blues. And, you know, it just behooves us to keep that in mind and give more support to the blues. I was fortunate to get in under the wire where I played with the greats, with Junior Wells. I was in Willie Dixon's band for 6 years. Coco Taylor, James Cotton, Buddy Guy, so many others. And unfortunately, now many of those are all but gone. You got Buddy Guy and Bobby Rush are two of the last remaining original blues stars left.
It just happens that I watched Sinners on the plane last night coming home. So you know, Buddy Guy prominent in the blues are prominent in that movie. I already knew that we were not going to have enough time. We're not even close. Let's do this again. Let's find the day. Let's do this again. There's so much to pick up and so much to cover, but I got to get out of here. A couple of things I need to share with folks before we do. Chicago, get ready to experience the power, the passion, and the breathtaking athleticism of the world-renowned Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater They'll be live at the Auditorium Theater on April 24th through the 26th under the direction of the newly appointed artistic director, Alicia Graff Mack. This legendary company returns with 2 unforgettable programs featuring 5 Chicago premieres, contemporary favorites, and the masterpieces you love. From powerful storytelling to electrifying movement, this is a performance that will move your soul. Now, here's the best part. All this week, Matt McGill is going to hook you up. He's giving away a pair of tickets every single day on his show, so make sure you're listening for your chance to win. That's Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, 3 spectacular days, 4 incredible performances, April 24th through April 26th at the Auditorium Theater. Tickets are on sale right now at auditoriumtheater.org. Secure your tickets today, and don't forget, your way in could be free all this week with Matt McGill. And I remind you again that it's more than a moment, it's a movement. Spending the Black is Back, turning faith into economic power, and the Chatham Business Association wants you to be there. Saturday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., head to 75th and King Drive for a full day of family, faith, and Black-owned business, led by Salem Baptist Church's Pastor Charles Dates and 6th Ward Alderman Will Hall. This is where community meets commerce. Matt McGill again, he'll be broadcasting live from 10 to noon and then again from 2 to 4. There'll be over 100 vendors, food, fashion, beauty, and more. Last year, nearly $1 million poured right back into the community. This year, let's do it again. Spend with purpose, spend with power, spend in the Black. George Daniels, Billy Branch, we have to do this again. We have to do this more. I'll call you guys back
before the celebration's over, because I tell you, I have some stories about WVON.
We're gonna continue the celebration. So I'm gonna find the day. I think this week is tight. Yeah. We'll find the day next week. Let's do it again. Let's get to it.
Your listeners need
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Rufus.
Thank you, Billy.
Billy, your song is off the chain, man.
And George has notes like he needs them. He's got pages of them like he's a walking encyclopedia, as you are, Billy. Thank you both again for being with us this morning to celebrate WVON. Annette, appreciate you, all that you do and all that gets us through the day. And Titus, a lot going on, but you make it work. We appreciate you making the sausage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you, as I always do, as you go through the course of the day, you'll come across people who are dealing with things that you know absolutely nothing about. So please be kind, always. And with that, Annette, tell us some headlines, and T-Dub, take us on.
Gray skies and 36 and cooler on this Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. I'm Annette Flournoy, and in the headlines, Chicago's iconic WVON radio station turned 63 today. And living legends, George Daniels of iconic George's Music Room and bluesman Billy Branch stopped by to celebrate. NASA's Artemis II mission is set to make history today by sending the first Black astronaut on a moon mission, and astronaut pilot Victor Glover Jr. spoke exclusively on WVON this morning. And city leaders are once again talking about how to address those team takeovers. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app. And WVON 1690 AM, Berwyn, Chicago, it's 9:04.
I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Corrupt mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that does it that way. Corrupt as hell.
No question.